Auntie Helga. So tell us about the immigration coming from Germany over to the U.S. What was the connection that brought you guys here?
Well, first my dad came, and he had relatives in Minnesota, and they made papers out for him, and he came, they made the papers, and he left Germany to go to St. Paul, Minnesota. And then...
And he left in 37?
I think 1937, I think it was.
And what family brought him over here? So it was
Poznansky family.
Okay. And Ansel was here.
They originally came from Poland, and they settled in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they brought him over. And then after my dad came, I think that was 1937, in April, I think it was if I remember correctly, April 1939, my sister Regina and my brother Dave and my brother Jimmy came to the United States. That left my mother, my brother Herman, and my brother Sam, and I left in December of 1939. We went through Holland, got the ship in Holland.
And it was one of the last ships, correct?
Yeah, from Holland we went to, ended up in the ship Hoboken, New Jersey or New York, and then from New York we took a bus to Chicago and visited my dad's uncle lived in Chicago, and then we went to St. Paul, Minnesota, where my dad and the rest of the family were waiting for us already. But it was my mother, I think, and Herman, Sam, and I, Helga, were the last ones to leave, and we barely made it out. Thank goodness.
Yeah. And you remember the night of Kristallnacht?
I definitely do. That was November 9th. I believe it was 1938. We left in 1939. But my dad was already in the United States, and it was November 9th, I think, 1938, where the Nazis went into, broke all the Jewish store windows and stole the merchandise. Previous to that, they had put signs in the windows saying, "This is a Jewish-owned store." And we were wondering why they were doing that, but it was so they would know to smash the windows and steal the merchandise. And the evening, they broke into all the Jewish homes that they knew Jews were living, and they... we were fortunate. We had a lot of good Christian neighbors, and they said the Jews, they had deported a lot of Jews to Poland, and so when they came into our building, they said, well, the Jews that lived in our building had been deported to Poland because they were protecting us. They knew we were Jewish, but they didn't want the Nazis to hurt us. So my mother came in, and we hurriedly, it was in the evening, we hurriedly dressed. It was, I think, November 9th, 1938, if I remember correctly. And we got dressed and wandered the streets. And we noticed that all the Jewish store windows had been broken into, and we just wandered around and didn't know what we should be doing next. And when the night turned into morning, we ended up going to we used to live in a small town in Germany, and we went there, and some Christian people let us stay overnight at their place, and then the next day we came back to Dortmund, and and see what was happening. And we noticed that it destroyed most of the Jewish businesses. They broke in and stole the merchandise, and a lot of Jewish men were arrested, put in prison, and or thrown out of our next door neighbor, like I said, was thrown out of the second story window, and he broke, I think, both arms and legs. But we were fortunate. No one found us to do any harm to us. And we had a lot of good Christian friends who saved our lives.
And what did you notice when you were walking that night away from your house? About your feet. What did you notice about your feet?
I had put my shoes on the wrong feet. I had, I don't know if, I think I had high lace shoes. And we were walking for a while, and all of a sudden I noticed my feet were hurting me. And I thought, oh God, I put the shoes on the wrong, because we got dressed in the dark to sneak out of the house, and we wandered the streets. And so we stopped, and I changed my shoes to the right feet, and I could walk a little more. And then we decided we lived in Dortmund, Germany, and we used to live in a small town near Dortmund. So I think we managed to go home very late that night when things quieted down. And I think the next day we split up as a family and went to a lot of different homes of Christian friends. They hid us in their homes and protected us, and because we didn't know what was going on. And then the next day we went back to the homes, and it was just horrible.
Yeah.
So, but we had, like I said, my dad was already I think at that time in the United States, so we knew that in a short time we would be able to get our paperwork and be able to leave for the United States. So I think that was, I don't remember exactly, I thought it was the 9th of November. I'm not sure if we left in December of 39, so I don't know if that was 38 or 37, the year. I can't remember. Did I tell you what year the Kristallnacht was? You might have to look it up.
Yeah.
9th of November.
37? Oh no, 8. We left in 39, I know. So if we left a year... My dad was already gone.
Had to be in 38.
What?
Had to be in 38.
1938, I think. November 9th, 1938.
And how old were you? How old were you?
I was born in 29, so I was 9, 10, well, 30, was it 38? That would have made me
10 years old.
10, 11, yeah, not quite 11. It was November 9th, I think, 1938.
All right, Auntie Helga, I'm going to end the video, but thank you so much for that.
I think it was 38.